and say basically requirement number 2 on the conditional use supersedes the agreement you've worked on for 20 years.
Yeah.
Basically is what it says.
Right.
They had no intention from day one. I told them all along, and once the planners are okay with it and they figured out where it can go, then you can choose who you go. I still don't see how they have a leg to stand on with that argument. They still have to go over, I'm telling, their building inspector isn't gonna do their shoreline stuff. He's not gonna do their culvert crossing and their access. Another thing, one of the conditions was they build a mile of fence around their 80 acres to get a permit. They signed it. I don't know where I'd love to see that in there. I'd love to see that in there. What code section requires that?
Right.
You got one thing else coming up. The federal government just gave the authority to the tribe. It's what is it? Something that has the same as state.
Oh, it's not quite done, but it's close, the TAS.
You didn't get the last
No, since
notice
Mike
from
Paulson,
Mike?
since,
Oh,
because
yeah.
the other day he
I
came in, he said it wasn't done
I
yet.
forwarded, no, it is done. It's moving forward.
Okay. No,
But they will have the same authority as the state does with regards to water quality. And I suspect that's gonna allude to water permitting. So why would you, if they got control of it, you're not gonna build anything?
Yeah.
Because without water, you have nothing. And we fought that at every turn, it always goes to the side of the tribe.
Yeah, that tends to be,
At every
well,
turn.
to here, that's my point. To me, there's a simple solution. Ask the people who they want to go to. People won't allow them to do that, so to me, that's the spirit of it. It says right there, the first thing says that you can choose your entity. The second thing says you can't permit jump. The idea of permit jumping is, the reason that we talk about permit jumping at all, the tribe requires you to pour concrete under a mobile home. That's not in the code. In fact, if you read the HUD code, if you're going to pour concrete under a mobile home and not follow the manual, you've got to get engineering. I agree, that's a better way to do it. But thank God they only want concrete, not gold. What if they just, you know what I mean? You can't just supersede. And so anyway, what happens, non-members or tribal members find this out. They typically, it's the same thing we do up here. They buy a junker old mobile home, they try to get into it while they do something better. You buy a $500 mobile home and then they don't want to pour $3,000 worth of concrete under it. And so they try to come to me and then the tribe won't let them. I understand that to an extent, not in this particular case, but that is agency, you know what I mean? They're jumping for a better, easier path.
Right.
That I agree. We shouldn't be entertaining that under the agreement, but that isn't what they're doing here. Basically, to me, it's like, gotcha. We made you sign it, now we got you. And condition number 2 I don't think a conditional use can supersede an agreement by our elected officials. And it does, clearly. I mean, condition number 2, you will come through us for your building permit. So anyway, I got to put something together. I told Angie and her husband to put together their timeline best they could remember. I'm going to do the same, and we'll give it to the prosecutor and see where it goes. And if they wanted, like I said, still, if they wanted to go through the tribe, I would release it in a second at this point. To me, land use and building permits are 2 drastically different things. Mary doesn't have any business, whether she cares or not, what goes on within those walls. That's me. Mm-hmm. And why would any planning department care that? Their business is on the outside of the building with the location on the property.
So we just do a pre-use permit.
We talked about that this morning.
So we have first stand. I mean, it just makes no sense.
Well, what it is the signature on your deed of ownership is now a conditional use permit, and you went through us.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. It's filed in the county.
Yeah.
but it's not what we discussed in planning was that when you got your choice, and once you've made your choice, you're not going to jump back and forth
Right.
because you
Right.
didn't like what they
But
just
that
said.
should be.
But you have to know that you've got a choice, and
Exactly. See, what we didn't when they came to Mary reviewed the exact plot plan. Matter of fact, I believe we copied a copy of that plot plan to them, or the Donchins did. Mary, we don't have a fee, we don't have any form. She just looks at it and says, "Yeah, there's an arc site there, or there's not, or you got to stay 80 feet from this, whatever it is." She lets you know the requirements. That's what they were trying to do through the tribe. And when they did that, the tribe made them fill out a form. And the whole time, she's saying, "Mike, they're doing this." And I'm telling her, "Angie, I can't control what they do. I can tell you the agreement says you can go to either entity." I've told her from day one she could go either one you want. And I still feel it. I mean, today, she's not, if Mary had stringent requirements why she had to do something, and she said, "I'm going through the tribe," that's a different deal. That's not what's happening. It's like the tribe has almost coerced them into signing a form, and now they're like, "You've chosen to go through us." And if that's the spirit of this, that's not what I've sat in on the meetings for. The one thing too that's always bothered me with this is the whole thing has never been who got you first. It's the people can choose.
Yeah.
The non-members can choose which entity.
Yeah.
That's always been it the whole time I've been here.
So we're not duplicating efforts.
Yeah,
You know,
and you have a choice,
streamlined,
you know.
Free choice,
Mhm.
you decide which court system you want to go through if it gets to be a hassle.
Well, and we still run into the same thing, like, okay, if they would have came through us, they would have still had to go through the tribe.
Yeah.
Because we don't do, when we do conditional use, we base it on, okay, section 3 of whatever says do this.
Right.
We don't say build a mile of fence because we feel like making you build a mile of fence. We have concrete rules that
You gotta
we
follow
work
it.
to. That ain't happening, you know, it's just, what the land use review board, in my opinion, just sits around, how can we jump these guys through something? You know what I mean? It's not the planning commission. When they do something, it's what do the rules say, here's what we're doing. You know, that doesn't seem the case we're getting down there. And why every permit in Ferry County needs to have a conditional use permit, I think we need to get back to the negotiating table. I mean, really, every time the whole idea with me was, we didn't ever charge a fee back in the day. When we got out of the agreement, they started charging us $35. That went up to $50. And they always said, well, if you guys get back in the agreement, this all goes away. So instead of it, now it did go away. There's no more application fee. Now it's a conditional use permit, same money. So it went away, you know, just more regulations. So, and it'd be different if we were fighting about something. You know, we're still fighting about paper. We're not fighting. Everybody's okay with what the people are proposing. Another stupid jurisdictional battle. That's what we try to
That was the
avoid.
whole point of all our meetings that we had, was to
Let the
streamline it.
people choose too.
Get
That was
the
always
choice.
the number one.
That way it defines the path, so we're not in a big gray area, but it sounds like,
See, one thing too that we've never tried, and I'm not sure, and this is I think a question for our attorney. We've never claimed jurisdiction over a race or a people. We claim jurisdiction over property. They have claimed jurisdiction over all tribal members regardless of the land. When that happens, I feel that it's on trust land. We can't really weigh in with our requirements, but on fee, I feel we can. Right? We both regulate that, so I don't think it matters whether you're a tribal member or not. And if a tribal member decided to come through the county, which some want to, for better banking, for insurance reasons, things like that, I don't see how that got written in there, to tell you the truth. But anyway, that to me is a minor thing. The big thing to me is, I think we just simply need to ask the people, and we're going to. Our forum is now going to say, if this is on the reservation, or would you prefer to permit the building through, you know, all of our forums? At some point, we're gonna get that as a question, so that's first thing for, you know, even if it's a free service, fill out the form. We'll make a folder.
right.
You know, and if people want to go through the tribe, I have no problem at all with that. You know, I would prefer, in this case, this is 3.5 miles out in the stick. So personally, it wouldn't break my heart if they went through the tribe, but that isn't the reasoning for it.
Well, there's special requirement now too. It's like, we'll find an area and someone wants a property, it's like, oh, that's not in special requirement, and it's, oh, that map is just for general reference. So then they say, but it is really in special requirement. And then that requires the application for the conditional use, which they get first.
Almost like they have an agenda.
I feel so.
And I don't know what to say, but I'll give her a call and tell her I spoke with you.
Yeah, and
What,
I'm going to do that chronological stuff best I can.
do you think she still has the option to do a permit with Ferry County?
I very much do, yeah.
Okay.
That's been her intent from day one, and I will have, hopefully, if I get a chance, getting real busy with inspections, but if I get a chance, I'll try to do that chronological stuff just as soon as I can, and I told them to do the same. And I've got a bunch of emails what I didn't throw away, but from day one, I've told her, that's why I'm a little upset, and I told people it's not personal, but I have told them too. I made it very clear they could go through the county, you know.
Carmen copied me in the emails if you're using it.
Okay.
So I have that, and I may have to have a talk with Kathy Morris' staff over it.
Yeah.
See if we can get something going.
I will do my best to get it together. I'm not sure when. Phone's ringing off the hook for inspections right now. So, matter of fact, if you guys don't mind, I better get rolling. I'm supposed to be dancing in 15 minutes. So,
Well, we'll have some future discussions.
Okay, sure.
Try to try to figure out, you know, where we can go in on it or
And I'll
whatever.
forward my emails too, because I've been emailing with them.
You've been pretty faithful with most of them.
Yeah.
I
I try.
Yeah,
I know every time I go to send one, I think, oh, should I really send this one? I thought we're just clogging up their inbox, but.
know how to do it.
Yeah.
I'll see you all on the next one.
all right, thank you, Mike.
Where it gets a little awkward
Thanks for
is you'll
coming
send
early,
it to
Katie.
me, but you'll also send it to her, and then she'll send it to me.
Oh, yeah.
I can
I know if I
always,
send it to Amanda, I know everyone will definitely
Yes.
see it.
I can tell when Amanda's in the office at 8 o'clock, I get my first email.
Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
And all day long, it just keeps, bing, bing. That's all right, that's what you're here for.
Thank you.
All right,
Okay.
thank you.
That's it.
Thanks
All
for the
right.
info.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
All right, I'll see you.
Thank you for coming early, Katie.
Yeah,
Is this court day for you, or is it-
no,
is it Monday
normally
or
that's
not?
Monday, but it's been a busy day on the coroner side and other stuff, so.
I think with regards to that easement,
Mhm.
is what you're here for. It was my opinion, I don't know if these guys have different, I wanted to send it to you to see if you've seen anything glaring wrong with it.
Well, I didn't write it, but I can see that there's a sentence that's repeated.
Well, I
That
didn't
just
write it either, it came from the
May,
school.
yeah, I know, they may want to be edited. I can't help but pick out grammar problems every time I look at anything. And then this one, I don't know, he signed this back in April, but it's not notarized or anything, so I don't know if this was just a draft. But I mean, as far as the legal description, that looks accurate. Let's see.
Where was the double,
It's on page 2. It says, the district is not responsible for any injuries or claims arising as a result of the use, whether involving personal injury or claims arising out of result of the use, whether, and then it says, whether involving personal injury or property damage or any other form of a claim or party whatsoever. It's like a fragment of a sentence, and maybe they could be combined into two with part of it to, I don't know, it just didn't flow. And that's up to you.
that is a little redundant, you could take that first brother out of there
Yeah.
and just leave what was left.
I mean, I guess under the covenants, it kind of puts as far as whether we need to do fencing, it puts that in the hands of the school. So it says if they determine there's a need for a fence, then you agree to construct it. So, I mean, if that's something you're comfortable agreeing to, that's fine. I don't know what something like.
That was the agreement, that there
Okay.
would be a fence installed approved by the school, but, and they did leave enough flexibility in here,
Mhm.
because typically a fence won't work there,
Mhm.
because they plow snow up against it, and that don't stack up too well. So there wasn't a verbal agreement anyway that we could use Jersey barriers,
Okay,
which would be
well,
more
it
suited.
just says, in a manner agreeable to both parties, which shall be similar in appearance to the fence around the baseball field. Is that what they use as Jersey barriers?
No,
Okay.
it's similar, constructed such fence agreeable, no,
Because this sounds like you're agreeing to build a fence that's similar to what's around the baseball field if they ask you to.
yeah,
And if
if
you're
they,
agreeing.
we were agreed to that beforehand.
Okay, yeah,
Before the
and,
Jersey barriers ever came up,
yeah.
we said, well, the motorized community had volunteered to bring enough money in to pay for that fence and to
Okay,
have it constructed. But then after talking with the road department, who plows that parking lot, they said, we'd rather see something else because that fence won't be there the second year.
Mhm. Okay,
With the superintendent, it was more some kind of a barricade to keep the kids in their four-wheel drives from driving down off that steep bank. Apparently, they think it's great fun to get a thrill going downhill. And I know blame well if I went over that for my trip, I'd get a thrill all right. Probably be hauling me off in an ambulance from heart attack.
okay. And then
So,
you've agreed to sign to install the necessary signage.
most of what's in there was previously agreed upon with a face-to-face meeting with the superintendent, 1 or 2 school board members, Public Works, and then the motorized TCMRA, it's the motorized club, right down the recreation, motorized recreation. They agreed to do the labor and construction part, as well as the signage, paying for the signage.
Okay.
So I didn't have too much trouble with that, especially where it looks like that fence could be negotiated with the school district to meet their approval.
Okay. And then the county agrees to maintain the trail in the manner appropriate for a property owner who invites the public to enter the premises. What does that mean to you? Because it seems a little vague to me. Is there a reason why we used, or why they chose that language?
Where did you see that? I read
Page
it.
2, second paragraph.
You know, I don't know where that came from. I suspect they had their attorney draw this up.
In that very, well, maybe I was just curious if you knew if there was a specific,
No.
and I can ask about that.
And I will get a hold of
And
that.
then do you have that as built drawing depicting the line and grade of the constructed trail? And then do you have the attachment B or exhibit B? It says see it attached exhibit B for resolution, which they did not include when
They didn't include it, that's all that came when that was presented.
Well, if it was a resolution, do we have it? That resolution?
Isn't the original resolution that we set aside the $6,000 for? If that's it, then I can get that. I don't know what they're referring to. And we didn't have anything to do with writing it, so I don't.
Well, that would be an important thing,
Yeah.
because
Well,
without knowing what the attached exhibit is that's being incorporated into the document.
Did it say what resolution it is?
it doesn't talk about resolution. It says see Exhibit A for approximate center line of the trail.
And then also at the very last line, see attached exhibit B for resolution by Ferry County, right above signature block. Is what I have in the copy that was given to me. But again, I think this came straight from the school, so maybe they gave me a different draft.
No, I think we sent that one over to you, right, Jennifer? Did you want it over there? I don't remember. Because I know that we got and I think I made copies, and I handed you the copy. On my line. I don't know. I made a copy of Mike's, and this is the cruise trail easement.
We'll look that up again.
Okay,
I'm
yeah, if you
thinking-
can send that to me, that would be helpful. And then,
That most likely is the resolution.
I'm just assuming it's the one that is for the $6,000 to do a study or whatever it was. It was like $6,000 allocation to do like a study
For the
to
design, I think it was for
design it,
design.
yes.
Okay.
purposes, and that's, because it's not constructed yet, we didn't really have a center line. They have a proximity, that's where it's kind of phrased the way it is. There was a visual that was drawn out, I think. Brad Miller did most of the work on this. And we need to get a hold of him. Might be a good reason to go out and have a cup of coffee at 10 bucks.
And so we don't have that drawing yet depicting the line and the grade. Is somebody,
I don't have it here, but I think there was one that come out of Public Works.
okay.
I know that there was some,
So the one that Lou Miller did?
yeah, there was some of that Lou Miller had done, which are actually pictures that he added into it to show its proximity. They're not very realistic to Curlew because of the blue background, it looks like it's ocean. But we can get that and attach it all and put it into one package. My basic concern was what the legal aspect of the document is.
Well, I think that probably want to add a signature block for you guys on there.
And that's, yeah, I kind of wondered about that. And I'm not sure, I'll ask the superintendent about the notary.
I mean, I hope this isn't the final draft because there's things that need to be changed. So like that one line, and then again, you might want to clarify about the fence, and I'll talk to them about that particular, what they're getting at with that paragraph about maintenance.
Oh,
Maybe clarify that, but it just seems like this was sort of a first draft type thing. And it would be it'd be nice to see the drawing and then the resolution too, to make sure that everything's accurate. Is there a time frame on this?
no, we've been in progress for 2 years.
Okay.
We were hoping to have it pretty well ironed out by this spring, which spring is almost gone.
There's a few weeks left.
And the weather has not been the best for building anything like that.
Yeah.
But, no, it's all volunteer work, so there's no contracts or anything
Okay.
that have to be met. We just have to make sure that the school and the county is in agreement
Okay.
where that goes. So, I appreciate
Well, it sounds like you're mostly in agreement. There's just a couple of things that need to be clarified, I think, so that somebody going back and reading it later knows what it means. Especially having all the exhibits. And since it said exhibit B was the one I was concerned about, but I would want to see both of them.
They shouldn't be too deeply hidden. I know I've got them, but they're in home and Facebook.
They never give them to me. They just give me the words, and then they expect that I'll know what they're talking about, even though I've never seen them before. So
Can't read them.
no, I can't.
Why don't you can read our minds?
I try. It doesn't always work out. So if you guys can get that stuff, that would be helpful. Other than that, I just kind of
And
wanted
then
to.
we'll let you know. when we
Okay.
Get it all together.
Yep. Is there anything else?
The 10th Amendment discussion is next, the 4th.
Okay.
You said you wanted to be present for the next discussion.
Well, I may or may not be in trial. Defense attorney hasn't decided yet, so.
So if there's any
What
backup
is-
documentation you need to send us, I don't know if you have any.
Oh, I can send like case law and stuff.
Yeah, if you
Yeah,
can't
I
be
can-
here, because you, yeah.
I can do that. And then I'm sorry, I missed 10 o'clock today. Did it get done?
10 o'clock was minutes. Which one?
We
The
need your
10:30?
signature
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, we need a signature.
outside of that.
Yes.
We're done.
Do you want me to do that now?
Yes, please.
Okay.
That would help get it wrapped
That would
up.
be wonderful.
Was there any changes from the one I reviewed?
Spelling.
No.
The spelling?
Yeah.
Somebody's name.
The
that was it.
signature line
Signature line.
Yeah.
That was it.
of the fairground people.
Right.
Because-
It's actually nullified with the spelling.
Right.
We just took off the personalized, what?
Is it on my desk?
I don't know, is it on the desk? I don't know why you put it there.
Yes.
Or all of our little green tabbies.
Because I was gonna make copies while she came and signed, and so.
Which one's?
This one. So there's both of them are in there.
So if you have to call her,
Yeah. It's a 3-day weekend, so you're probably just brain is blocked.
It is. It's so late that we get to
It tells us everywhere.
I know.
can you get in the contact information for John Boyd?
Yeah. Like, what do you want? What of his, what are you requesting?
I probably should have a phone number. It'll take me a month to get a hold of it. But before I do that, let me check.
You want the phone number and email?
Yeah, why don't you just text? I'll find that one. It's not very enough ones.
Is it called the Curly? Request that. As soon as I get it, Mike, I'll give it to you.
That's fine. Almost irony that shows up at the same moment we put it in the mail.
Yeah. Looks like they want results.
I'll send that out, I guess.
There was one part that I remember going through where it talked about when they had to hire additional people, that just get taken out.
Mm.
I thought it said, it was like,
Yeah, I remember what you were talking about.
you know,
Volunteers.
this month, you know, this, from this time to this time, you have to have at least one extra person, from this time to this time, you have to have at least 2 extra people. Then it didn't really define what they were supposed to be doing. I don't see that in there now. Maybe because I put a question mark by it.
I think Bruce might have cleaned that up.
Hmm?
Or Butch might have cleaned that up. too.
Okay. It just, I mean, it's fine that it just was confusing when I read it the first time, but it's not there, so I guess it's not a problem.
Good. I'll get it, just,
No, just leave it.
There you go. All right, is that it? Yeah, that's all.
Thank you for your help and thank you
You're
for coming
welcome.
early.
Yep.
Thank you.
thank you, Katie.
Yep, thanks, Mike.
Jennifer, do you remember what year we did that resolution for the $6,000? It seems like it was 2016 at the end of it.
2016-09.
I'm making assumptions too, or it could be, what if they're talking about like a resolution that like, solidifies everything they're talking about? You know what I mean, like, no, we do resolution to do
I'm
like,
making an exhibit that you specifically did.
well, I don't usually submit something without the exhibits that I've talked about. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the exhibits I'm referring to.
Yeah,
So like,
chapter and verse.
this is the only one I can think of that it could be, unless they're referring to one that we have yet not done. Do you know what I mean?
So,
I think we need to talk to Brad.
Okay.
I'd see him Sunday. Brad.
Sunday?
Well,
Oh, I guess that's true, huh? I was like, I don't know what's special about Sunday.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, my brain is totally fried. I'll be there.
I thought you might.
Yep, I'll be there. Real derby days. You know, that thing. That's consuming my life. In real life.
Christmas. Christmas Day.
Just a year or two, you're gonna go on, you realize that, don't you?
What?
See, they're not listening.
I didn't hear you. She
It was
was
important.
tell me.
What I said was, in just a year or two, you're not gonna be up on the hill by yourself.
I know. Next year's only the senior year.
I know.
It'll be fine. I like Elena. You didn't even like Shadow. I like Elena now. It took me a while. I like Shadow. Right.
So is that all we got today?
That is all we have
I
for
will make
today.
a motion to adjourn.
Second that.
Moved and seconded to adjourn. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye. And we'll see you at 9 o'clock Friday.
Yes, 9 o'clock Friday.
We'll let him do that one for a little while. It ain't gonna get better though.
Thank you. You're so kind.
This is in here or here?
Actually, I'm about to all that over too, but I'd like to at least review it.